she, yeah. Hey everybody, I just got to eating all the fucking Thanksgiving food. And now it's time for another edition of Talking Shit. Today on our program we have a friend of mine, his name is Cory. And Cory is visiting us from Arizona. He's from California and he's a very important figure in our Black Man with Hands family. He is a new critic that we've added to our little program here, along with friends with our last guest we had, Todd. Well, actually, Robert is doing some technical work today. JP is not present, so Robert is producing this program today. It's really great.
I'm fat.
And he's behind the camera saying mean things. Cory is here. Hi, Cory.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you, DeAndre?
I'm good. How long are you here for?
I am here until Sunday.
Oh, I didn't know.
So it's a short trip, shorty.
Do you like Arizona?
It's New
Arizona's
Mexico.
kind of fucked up. No, it's New Mexico.
Yeah.
I feel like Donald Trump. No,
New Mexico is.
You're in New Mexico, not Arizona. Okay.
It's really dry.
Yeah.
I've never been someplace so dry. It's high. I've never been so high before.
What's the altitude?
7,400 feet.
Oh, I didn't know you were that up
Yeah.
that high. Gee.
Yeah. Everywhere I've lived my whole life has been sea level. And this is 70. I walk up a gentle hill and I'm sucking wind, and I'm like,
yeah. You're in better shape than I am, and it's killing you.
Yeah. Well, it took me a couple weeks.
Really? To get used to it?
Now I'm doing a lot better. But yeah, at first I was like, I can't do anything because I'm just fucking die.
You can't breathe.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to do things when you can't breathe. We'll talk about that next time. No, I'm just kidding. Tell me, I was texting, we're back and forth, and you had some things you wanted to talk about. We tried to invite friends on to talk shit, but whatever they want. I've been talking shit about Fox News and Donald Trump since I can remember. This guy has something else going on his part. What's going on with you? What are you?
I don't know. I mean, there's a few things that have been grinding my gears lately. Mm-hmm. A lot of things are sexist related. Why is it okay? It's very okay. I've noticed that if a woman's showing off her body and she has a model body, she can show off whatever she likes within the confines of the, obscenity laws. Mm-hmm. But when a real woman wants to be proud of her body, then all of a sudden, it's, whoa, what are you doing? Oh, right. Shame. Where is your shame?
Right.
And I don't get that. I think body shaming is just all around terrible.
You think body shaming is terrible? But especially when it comes to women in our country, it has been sort of confusing in regards to how we treat them.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that just, an animal or a plant or a person, but women have a strange history with what they're allowed to sort of present themselves as Americans. I mean, Donald Trump openly insults women constantly. I don't know if an American woman would put up with it. Maybe that's why he's married to an immigrant. But I'm just saying, it's hard to imagine the proper way to go about it. So what would be the right... In other words, when you talk about a woman and her body, mm-hmm. do you mean that it's okay to, of course, be whoever you are and then accept the criticism? How would you accept the criticism regardless of whether you're a hot blonde or somebody with a heavy weight? I mean, don't you think that it's just a matter of perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I don't... How to make things right is a question that I wonder and I don't know how to answer, but I don't think it's okay to have this double standard for women.
You know what, and that's what you're like me, like I don't try to make big deals out of stuff, but when it's like a traditional kind of for example, when people talk about black on black crime, when people mm-hmm. say that the reason why it's okay to kind of harass people of color, or the reason why it's okay to sort of, expect violent acts toward people of color is because they do most of the crime. They do most of the crime in our country. So 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have to shoot them in cold blood.
Yeah, I mean, well, shooting in cold blood is another thing. I mean, the police are just. I mean, if somebody is committing a crime,
right,
a violent crime or something, they need to be stopped. I totally agree, but you don't need more than 2 shots
Right.
to stop a person.
Right.
You can shoot them in the knee, and they can't run away.
Right.
You don't need to shoot them 16 times in the back.
Unless you're unless you're filming Dirty Harry with fucking, you know.
If they're running away, you shoot them once in the leg or twice in the leg. They're down, and you can go arrest them.
That's right.
You don't. There's absolutely no reason, in my opinion. There's no reason for that.
Right.
You know, the whole situation with, you know, the police and colored folks or, you know, non-white people is just
it's sort of
crazy.
frightening because I think
Crazy.
when I saw this recent video out of Chicago, I showed it to JP, who is, you know, JP is half Mexican and half white, and it didn't matter at all. But he saw it and he was in shock for about 40 seconds. He couldn't believe how it just sort of orchestrated into the guy being down on the ground and seeing bullets come off his body after he'd already been stopped.
Yeah, I mean, and they've done psychological studies too, where if you are holding a gun and they start flashing pictures by you, you're more likely to see a gun. If you're holding a banana, you're more likely to see a banana.
Right.
And so you get these trigger-happy people with guns, and all of a sudden they're just, you know, they've shown once you pull the trigger once, it's easier to pull it again and again.
Right.
And, I mean, that's hard. I mean, violent crime is a problem, but, you know, and it's funny too. It's so violent here in the U.S. When I traveled to Europe, they were like, it's okay. You can be out at night.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that, there's not that much violent crime. Everything's graffiti, there's lots of petty crime, but there's very little violent crime. And it was weird.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I mean, here you think everything's dangerous.
Right.
I mean...
Well, you know, and that's one of the things I want to say about violence, period. I think that overall, it's more of a part of our culture to have violence as something to sort of look forward to almost. I mean, at the rally the other day when Donald basically asked these people to seize that creature, and then they went ahead and captured the guy basically and beat the shit out of him. It's just like, you know, on camera, it was like people weren't like, oh, don't do that. People were like, yeah, get that fucker. And it's just like, so it's an expectation of violence is sort of expected.
And two, I think that's part of that herd mentality where people are just, they don't know what to do, and so they just follow the guy yelling. And the guy yelling says, get him.
Right.
And so, okay, I'll go get him.
You asked a really weird question the other day when you said, when are we going to drop the shame card against Germany? When are we going to give Germany a break? What did you mean by that?
So, I mean, I'll be honest, I have a background with Germany. I'm German descent mostly. I have family there. I've studied it a lot. I've been there several times. And they're nice people. I mean, and when you think about it, they have well over 2,000 years of history.
Right.
And something in the last 60 years, 70 years, nobody will let it go. It's not the first time they did something bad. They did sack Rome. Some people think that's good, some bad, but, you know, if you look at what they're doing now, the European Union and the Schengen Zone and the Euro were all created to subdue Germany. They were all so that everybody was on the same side as Germany, and so that if they ever wanted to rise, and they have very strict policies about what they can and can't do militarily. And it's all done to restrict it. And yet, when you look at what's going on right now, Germany is holding up the European Union. When countries are out of money, they go to the EU and they're really going, Germany, can we have some money because we're out? Everybody's going to them looking for help. Now they're not the military power, they're the economic power.
Right.
And when all these Syrian refugees were streaming into Europe, all the other countries were saying, well, you know, maybe, and Germany said, come here.
Right.
Come. No question.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with believe it or not, I know this may seem off topic, but the Israelites have, and I don't mean because I think they get a certain amount of stigmatism in their country, and I think that the government there does not speak for a plethora of Jews, quite frankly, who do not agree with Netanyahu or any, or almost all of their acts of violence. But because of the history there, I think the Jewish community is sort of embarrassed by their government, and that government uses what you just talked about in the last 6 years as a reason for their arrogance, as a reason for their abuse toward the Palestinians.
Yeah,
and so that's, I think, where that's coming from.
Yeah, the Israel and Gaza and Palestine are another quagmire.
Yeah.
And personally,
doesn't it remind you of the Hatfields and the McCoys, though? Like somebody gets married, they need to get married. I don't know. It just seems sort of weird.
I see no reason why Palestine shouldn't be a state.
Even George Bush thought that Palestine should have a state.
And even like Israel's like, okay, we won't do anything more, but we are going to take these several square miles of land from them. And then they're like, promise, we're done. Yeah. And then they're like, but we're going to take some more.
Don't you think, one of the things that Israel and both America have in common, I think, is that Israel is an idea. And I think that America is an idea, too. I do not think that, like, Germany has, like, this bona fide, like, you know, you look at other countries in Europe, like even Lithuania or somebody, you know, any of my friend that lives in Ukraine or stuff. But America is sort of a, you know, an idea that's not a bad one, but it's not. It doesn't have that grassroots like. I don't know how to explain it. It just seems like Israel and America are like first cousins of bullshit when it comes.
Well, and I was thinking about it the other day, and with the Israelis. It reminds me of the Cowboys and Indians.
Uh-huh.
The Palestinians killed 2 Israeli men, so we're going to slaughter 30 women and children.
Yes.
I mean, and that's just an oversimplification.
Oh, I know, but it's...
You know, and not necessarily representative of the whole truth, but that's how it feels, you know?
It does feel that way, and I've been constantly... we got to go here. Okay. I've been constantly trying to get people like yourself on the show to explain that it's not just the angry black guy or... the person who, I mean, you have a very, I'm not going to tell people what you do occupationally, but...
I have a very white background.
You're very white and very German, and you still see some of the, they call it injustice, or what is it they call that? What is it called when there's a small group of people who pretty much have all the money and power and control over a larger group of people, like
elitist and classist,
right? Or exceptionalism. What do you think about exceptionalism? When you hear that term, what does that mean to you?
I mean, I was thinking about it. And you have a lot of, usually it's black people. They're in a tough situation. They don't know what to do, so bad things happen. You have the same white guy who has the same situation, but just by virtue of that, bad things don't happen.
Right.
He has a job that he can get set up in, even though he's terrible at it, and things get taken care of for him. And that's hard. Yeah. I wish I could fix it, and I don't know.
I don't think anything can happen other than brotherhood, and I think that's one of the breaks that I've gotten is just I try to humanize everything rather than demonize. Mm-hmm. And I also believe too, because I'll close with this. I believe that Donald Trump is sort of a representation of absolutely meaning nothing for nobody. I don't really think... You understand what I'm saying? It's like, what does he mean?
Well, I mean, remember, he's a businessman.
Right.
He knows how to sell things.
Right.
He's selling a product.
Right. Himself.
He knows what to tell people. Controversial, no matter what. He knows what will get people fired up.
Right.
And that's scary to me. He's a businessman. He knows how to sell it. He doesn't... I mean, to him, this is like a game. Right.
I noticed during the hostage situation in Mala, in Kenya, he was shooting out these really bizarre statements during
see what sticks.
Yeah.
Run 10 commercials and see which one flies.
Right. Yeah, he was saying like, we'll bomb the shit out of them if they... And it's like, dude, they have 170 people trapped in a room. Mm-hmm. And you're releasing these statements that are very animalistic. It's like, can't you wait until they get some of the women out of there or something before you... I don't know, he just shoots his mouth off. Anyway, we don't want to do that. That's all the time we have now for Talking Shit. Join me next time when are you coming back?